This interview took place in the Shah's mirrored office in an old palace. Amidst the splendor of the past, we talked of the realities of the present, specifically about the CIA's participation in Iran today. Your Majesty, in our newspapers now, in our country, there is a great deal of comment, and there are reports today about our CIA aiding friendly nations, giving them money. Does the CIA play any part in this country today?
Sure.
What?
Gathering information. We don't mind.
Do they, in any case, give this country money?
Money for what?
Because
if we don't give you money, you are not going to give us money. We are giving you a lot of money in buying your goods.
Well, what I was talking of is, since it is coming out that we have been giving money to other friendly nations to help them in one manner or another.
Well, maybe you had to. Maybe you had to.
Tonight, part 2 of our interview with the Shah of Iran. On this part of the interview, taped last week in his office in Tehran, we discussed oil and arms. The Shah said that his oil production is now up to normal, partially because of our need for oil during this cold winter. He insists that the price of oil must stay as it is or go even higher. One, because the oil is Iran's one natural resource and its revenue is necessary to bring up the standard of living in the country. And 2, to force us to look for other energy resources. With much of his oil revenue, the Shah has turned Iran into one of the most heavily armed nations in the world. The big question is why? For offense or defense? The Shah says that Iran was invaded in both World War I and II, and he will not let it happen a third time. Iran is bordered on the north by the Soviet Union and Turkey, on the east by Iraq, and across the Persian Gulf by Saudi Arabia. But we asked the Shah just whom is it he fears, whom is he looking at?
We are looking what our neighbors have.
Are your neighbors as armed as you?
Per capita, per ratio, some of them more.
Are you not concerned then about an arms race?
Well, if this is what is imposed on us, we have no other choice. What else? To surrender?
Perhaps to come to some understanding where you buy less and they buy less. Perhaps the kind of thing that we're trying to do with the Soviet Union.
Can you? That all depends. If you can, that would be a very good example for others to try to do the same.
Your Majesty, do you see any circumstances in the near future under which you would reduce the price of oil?
Why should we do it? This is the only thing we have. Do you know, Miss Walters, that since we raised the price of oil, you have increased the prices of your goods and commodities at least by 400 to 500%? Do you know the price we pay for the spare parts that we need from your country?
You mean we have raised it correspondingly to your
oil?
Oh,
yes.
When you buy military equipment from us, have we raised our prices on that very much in the last few years? We have.
Especially the spare parts.
If we lowered our prices of those materials, the spare parts of the military equipment, would you lower your oil prices?
I had proposed to you many years back. I am ready to deal with you on a fixed price basis.
And we said no?
Obviously, because we could never match your inflation.
Your Majesty, if now our country said, okay, we will charge you less for military equipment. We will charge you less for commodities. If you will bring down your price of oil, could you do that now?
On a bilateral basis. That price will be lowered for you, who can propose this to me.
Mm-hmm. Just between your country and our country?
On a bilateral basis, yes.
Your Majesty, if there should be more trouble in the Middle East, if there were another oil embargo, what would you do?
We have not participated in the embargo in the first place, and we will not under any circumstances. We separate oil from politics. And in addition to this, the West is our friend.